All right, we are going live right now. This is the first day of the Speak Your Power Now live, and we are excited about being here with you today. I am Coach Cheryl Clark. I am the founder of Speak Your Power Now, and I'm a psychotherapist, and I am here to really help you get control of your communication. I'm going to be bringing you on live. So, go tell a friend. Go share this link. We're about to really get into some things tonight. So I am here. So let me play our Speak Your Power Now, our theme song we got going on here where we can begin to move because I'm going to bring you up and talk about the ARR. And what is that? You don't know what that is? I want you to go share it with somebody and tell somebody Cheryl is live. Yes. I am live today. So let's go ahead and go bring us on in with our theme song. And I hope you can hear it live and in color right now as we play. Speak it now. Forever's just a thought, like sands in the hourglass. Your moment may not be too far. So while you can, speak your power now. Stand tall above all. You feel too much to watch for. Speak your power now. Stand tall, healing's now. Woo! Yes, speak your power now. Now let's go forth. I want to talk a little bit today about the ARR. Well, what is the ARR, Cheryl? Well, the ARR is something that stops you from speaking your power. And there's something that I created, and it's called the Speak Your Power Now Declaration. So I'm always going to start off with that because the Speak Your Power Declaration is going to always keep you on point. I'm going to also talk about what's behind me, the Pis Unstuck method, which I created. So I'm going to bring people live later on after I'm finished teaching a little bit, interact with one another so we can see what's actually happening. So I'm going to go live on Instagram as well so we can all see what's going on, what's happening, what's going to invite some people. I am live. I'm going to be asking people if they want to come up live because I'm going to be coaching you live right here in the second part of this live today. So let me go live right here on Instagram where people can actually see me and I can bring them live as well so they can actually see me moving in this new realm. I'm going to go live every Monday at 8 p.m. where I'm going to ask you questions and you get to ask me questions. And today, our topic that we're going to handle is the ARR. Are you triggered? What is your triggers? And if you don't know who I am a psychotherapist. I'm also a master communication coach, but I'm also a person that used to get stuck in my communication. So I learned some tools of what to do. I learned how to begin to move in a season of standing in my power, standing and understanding where I am. So today, I want you to go ahead and share the link. Tell them I'm live. Tell people I'm live. Come live. Hey, how are you? Lisa is on. I'm waving at Lisa. Hey, come live, everyone. I'm going to be coming live every Monday at 8 p.m. And Elisa, if you want to join me, hey, on here, let me know. I'll bring you live on here. But I'm going to talk today about the ARR. Now, everybody said, what is an ARR? Well, an ARR is something, it's called the Automatic Reactive Response. What is this thing that happens? This is the thing that gets you all out of sorts. So let me tell you what my ARR thing was. So if something happens, if I feel rejected or things of that nature, because that's what happened with me. That's what happens with a lot of us. We get stuck in that. So I want to teach you the triggers. So when you're able to see, so you can easily identify your triggers. Triggers are something that happens. It happens to everyone. An event, a smell, it doesn't matter, but it becomes uncomfortable.
And what happens is with the ARR, what continues to happen is that we get raptured or we get taken out of the space. So you got to figure out what's your ARR. It's your automatic response. And I'm here to show you or help you to, in order for you to begin to get control of that and to stay present in that, is that you have to begin to understand what that looks like. So I'm here to let you know that it's normal. But when you are taken out of the space, you are no longer able to control what's actually happening in your inward, in your internal body. So when you look at particular signs, I want you to begin to look at it. Now, the common situations that may happen is that you may feel rejected. You may feel fear. You may also feel unfair treatment, rejected, criticized, loss of freedom, and anxiousness. You may feel a lot of these things happen, unappreciated, judged. And what do you do? What do you do in this standpoint? You may tell people off. You may hide. You may do a whole lot of things. So I want to normalize it first for us to recognize that we are human in this human experience. And in this human experience, we can get ourselves out and not be able to communicate effectively. So today I want to show you something. If you ever get raptured by the ARR, ever, just keep that in your mind. It's an automatic reactive response. We all have it. So I want to show you what can you do to learn how to effectively communicate and effectively get in control of the triggers. The first thing I want you to do, and I want to give you 3 steps to have effective communication, because that's all the Pis method is. The Pis method, I'm sorry, it's 4 steps. It's the Pis method, and this is something that I created. So easy, PIES. And when you first get into this area, and I want you to recognize what this looks like. So I'm going to give you a scenario. Say you come to my office and you come into my office and then you leave my office after we've done our session. You leave our office and you witness a car accident. And the officer comes over to you and say, "Hey, sir, ma'am, what did you see?" And depending on what you saw, what it was, you say, "Oh, officer, the red car hit the blue car on Marinick Avenue at 3 o'clock. And you know that same car hit me 3 years ago. It looked like the same car." And you start showing him the scar on your leg. That has nothing to do with what's happening in the moment. But you're raptured. You have that automatic response because you're triggered in the moment. So what happens is you are not present in the moment. And all we need is for you to pause so you can get the facts. Because all the officer needs to know is that the red car hit the blue car on Mamaroneck Avenue at 6 o'clock. That's it. Those are the facts. But in the moment, because that car looked like that car that hit you 3 years ago, we go back there. We go back there. And when you go back there, it takes you out of the moment and it keeps you locked out of possibilities. So I want to show you with something that I created because clients was coming into my office and even myself, I struggled with anxiety for many years. So what I had to learn to do was come and create something so quick and easy that you can learn it too. So the first thing I want you to write down is P for pause. The P will allow you to get control over what is happening in this moment right now. But pausing. This is where you can begin to get control over your emotions. You get to get control over your breathing, whatever is happening in the moment. That ARR, the one that has you gone, you're just moving in the moment. You need to be present right where you are. So the pause allows you in the moment to take charge of your body, take charge of your body. Just close your eyes in the moment because that is what needs to happen. What needs to happen is that you need to begin to get control over what is actually happening. That is not the car that hit you. That isn't the car that hit you those many years ago. That's happening right there, right now with this particular person. That's not the car that hit you. It may look like the person that hit you. It may look like that car that hit you 3 years ago. That is not the car. So I want you to stay present with that. So in the pause, you're going to begin to close your eyes. I say close your eyes, take a nice long breath if you can in that moment and get control over your emotional body because you are gone. Because in the moment, it's going to bring their attention back to center. Because guess what? You have to recognize when you are raptured and when you're gone, when your thoughts are gone, you are not present with yourself. So being able to pause in the moment, close your eyes, and release the tension off your shoulders and begin to just do that and just breathe and exhale. Because what happens is that now you can begin to see that you are moving in a space of I am gaining back control. I'm gaining back control over my present. You may not have control over the accident, what happened, and you may still have that scar on your leg. I'm showing you how you can stay present even when the circumstances outside of you is dictating something else. So when you are raptured, when you in that ARR, I want you to see how you can take control over your present by pausing. Then I want you to identify an inventory. What do you mean by that? So the I stands for two ways. Once you identify the facts are the red car hit the blue car on Mamaroneck Avenue at 6 o'clock. That was it. That is it. That is all you need to know. That is all we need to know. In that moment, that's all the officer needs to know. He doesn't need to know about the scar on your leg. He doesn't need to know that somebody hit you 3 years ago. That's not relative in this season. Did it happen? Yes. Does it bring back feedback? Yes. Does it bring back a real emotion? Yes. Acknowledge it so you can help if you desire to help with the facts. And as you begin to look and inventory and get clear about what really happened, then I want you to either write it down or briefly talk about what that feeling looks like. Get aware. Get the I statements that you are conscious about. Because once you in that moment, and also I want you to inventory what is happening with your body. You may be starting to sweat. You may be your heart may be palpitating. Whatever may be happening, you may be having a headache. Whatever is happening, your breathing changes. You need to start taking inventory so you can begin to take control, maybe not over the situation, but over your body first. Because that is super important. Before you could do anything, the trigger is going to get you in the ARR response. Remember, when you're triggered, you are not present and it impacts you unconsciously. So you need to begin to see who you are, where you are, because it can spark a whole lot of misinterpretations and miscommunication and misunderstanding. So in the moment, it is necessary for you to recognize the ARR. All right. The third letter is an E. This is where you got to begin to explore the facts and only apply the facts with no judgment. See, in this exploration, you could begin to move in the steps of being intentional. And then you can share maybe your thoughts about it. Then you can share with a sound mind with no judgment. This is another part. We get to judging. Judging is not going to get you to the solution because you're judging it and not objective. When you're objective, then you can begin to honestly look at the picture, look at the bigger picture, so you can begin to give a real clearing for an opinion or response. See, when you are objective, the information is unbiased. When you are objective, you have the information there. You don't have to conjure up anything. You can be with that thing. But what happens in our communication, we get raptured in that, and then we're not able to communicate effectively. So I'm going to show you how you can begin to do that effectively, right? Then comes the E. The S. This is the solution. I love it, but we try to run to this, and you may not get to the solution right away, and you may have to come back to it. But in the steps of the solution moves you forward. The solution doesn't keep you stuck in those whole rapture of thoughts. So as you begin to thinking in a cycle, as you commit yourself to the cycle of pausing, identifying, and inventorying and exploring, and then when you hit solution, you may not get a solution right away, but you need to begin to look and see how you can control yourself, because it's so necessary for you when you are having effective communication. This is on your job. This is off your job. This is with family members. This is with just community. This is with everything. Everyone needs effective communication. Now, if you would like to come live, I call this the hot seat. Now, if you would like to come live now, I'm going to offer you to come live. I'm on Instagram. I am super duper live right now. And I want you to come live. If you would like to come live, just raise your hand, let me know. And this is going to be the first time I'm going to be bringing someone live. And now, if you want to be invited live, let me know so I can invite you live. And then I can send you this link. I already copied it. If you would like to come live, I'm going to put it into the chat. And I am on YouTube. So if you want to come live, I'm going to bring you live on YouTube. That way you can come live with me. If anybody would like to come live right now, there is the link. And I will, if you want to come to the hot seat, and I will be coaching you live right now. I call it the hot seat. If you would like to come live right now and be a part of this conversation about maybe you want something you want to be coached around, something around your communication. This is important. Why? Because coming live means that I'm going to bring my life on the court. And I promise you, we will not go into your history of your child or anything like that. We're just going to maybe you have something big coming up and you want coaching around. Maybe you got something that you got going on and you want coaching around about your communication. Maybe you lose power even talking with your parents. You know, I'm going to talk about speaking with your adult children or young adult children now. I had a challenge when it was time for me to begin to parent my young adult children. I had to go from being a dictator to just a guidance counselor. And at times when we're guiding our children, we maybe don't know how to shift from being a dictator or an authoritative, and be a guider, a guidance counselor. And oftentimes we don't know how to pull back. And sometimes they gotta go through that. But we have to do, and we have to learn how to communicate effectively with our young adult children, because they're young adults now. They will always be our babies. I get it. But they need to be able to be guided by you, not told what to do, but guided. And they can learn how to stand in a space of how they can be able to navigate this world. Because if you keep doing things for them, what happens? What starts to happen? They, first of all, you know what kind of can happen. They can resent you. So I'm offering this time, if you would like to come on YouTube, I am live on YouTube, the Facebook, the Master Coach Communication Coach, or Speak Your Power Now. Go ahead live. I have shared a link there. If you would like to come live with me and get coached, I'm going to keep that open for 1 more minute. And I want you to begin to move in a season of where you can say, I'm not, I am really going to be present. I'm going to be present. And I'm no longer going to be stuck in my communication. You want power. This is a secret sauce. You want power in your life. You want success in your life. Get control over your communication. Point blank. Are you telling people off? Are you going in a corner? Are you thinking, are you being small because you're not able to move in that? So we have someone I'm going to come live with. Hello. How
Hey, Coach Cheryl, how are you?
How are you? Thank you for being number uno Ruma.
I was like, you know what? You can't access unless you activate. So let me join in.
Well, okay. Well, tell everyone your name and where you're from and where you may be struggling with in your communication.
Yeah, so my name is Angelique. I live in Bruton, Alabama. And I think, communication, where I struggle in communication is um, at times just I think that people try me. Like, I think that I understand that that's all in my head a lot of the times, and sometimes it is real. But because I that's my default position. Oh, they're trying me. It shows up in my response or my reaction. And so that's an area that I would say I struggle with communicating because if I start out triggered, then whatever response I give is a reaction to me being triggered and not me being in control. So
Yeah. So think about so your default is to tell people off. Is that what you're saying?
I would say not to tell people off, but to get annoyed with them because I think that they're trying me. And because I start from a place of annoyance, there's not a lot of grace and compassion, there for them.
Okay, got it. So let's go back and we're gonna work our way through the P, right? A P part, for this that happens. So let's get a scenario that usually happens. We could take any place, a workplace or family, whichever. Where so we can help the people because they having the same situation, right?
Right. So I'll give just a very standard situation that happens all the time at work. So I will share information that I have to help keep people informed. And this literally happened in the last 30 minutes. And so it's like people are looking to catch me up on something. That's how I feel, like trying to see what information I don't know. So instead of accepting what I share and just like rolling with it, like to me, common sense is if I had all the information to give you, wouldn't I just give it to you in the beginning? But if I give you this information, that means I don't have the other information. And I feel like people just do this to be annoying. And I realize that's asinine for me to think like that, but I just get so annoyed with it.
Okay, so you are caught up in the ARR apparently, right? So you have this
Uh-huh.
automatic response about people. So give me now some of the common ones. I'm gonna give you some words, right? And you tell me that is some of these common words, some of the things that may happen when you hear something, right?
Okay.
So either rejected, fear, unfair treatment, loss, criticize, judged, anxiousness, abandoned, misunderstood, ignored, disregarded. Tell me, did any of those hit home?
I mean, like almost all of them.
Let's just pick one for this particular for at the workplace because it's important. I want to show you something because we all
Hmm.
have it. These are common,
Hmm.
they're common. So pick one of those that was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah, I would say one of them is, I would say, let me give you two. One is rejected, and the other is, oh, I forgot which one it was. We can go with rejected.
that. Okay, rejected.
Hmm.
Now I'm gonna go here. Did you always feel rejected growing up?
Hmm.
That is the
Absolutely.
trigger. I want to show you something here, everybody. She's being triggered by a childhood response.
And I can tell you where it was.
Well, tell us what you want to do. Please tell us. She's in the hot seat, and listen. I got my red chair. We in the hot seat. Got the red mic. So come on, Angelique, tell
You
us.
know, I realized this. I was sharing with a friend just like a week or two ago that this stems from when I was in kindergarten.
Mm,
I or I still love to read. I just don't read as much. But
mm-hmm,
books were my best friend.
mm-hmm,
And I grew up in rural Alabama, and they had an enrichment program.
mm-hmm,
And this enrichment program, there weren't people that looked like you and I in this program. So
mm-hmm,
I was reading so rapidly in kindergarten that the teacher sat me down and said, "You're reading too fast. You're reading too many books. You
mm-hmm,
can't read more than one book a week," or whatever it was she told me.
mm-hmm,
While what I found out later was all along they were telling the white kids, read, read, read. And those were the children that were accepted into the enrichment program based upon their performance and how quickly they read those books. And so I realize now that that sense of rejection stemmed from that because because that was a protected space for that they only wanted to offer to privileged white kids, and I was rejected because I wasn't a white kid even though I was doing the work, but I was set up not to be successful in being able to be in that program. And that's why I don't trust people in the workplace. And that's why I get so triggered when I feel like when people are either rejecting me or trying to call out something that they feel like I should have known. So that's where it comes from.
First of all, I want to thank you for your transparency, and you're absolutely right. And in order for you to heal, you in your 30-year-old body, I'm supposing, yeah. So in your
40.
40-year-old body, oh, you look good, girl. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Go ahead. So in your 40-year-old body, she has a sense of, I want everybody to hear this. She felt rejected in kindergarten. And now she's being triggered at her workplace, feeling small. And when she says something to people, she is now that those people are going to pay for every teacher in kindergarten that has kept her from having effective communication. This all has to do with communication. And
Hmm.
what happens is it locks you out of possibilities, Angelique. What it's doing is that now the teachers and everything else that never said that you couldn't do this program, now she's a very intelligent woman. However, that doesn't mean that her being intelligent has nothing to do with the fact of She does not have effective communication style
Mhm.
because she's triggered. This is why when people say this to me all the time, or not just people, but if you had a broken leg, you will go get the broken leg tended to. You will go to the hospital, you will get a cast, you will have to, do what you need to do. But when something is broken in the heart, when something is broken in the mind, we need to get that healed.
Mhm.
And how you heal that is that this is what she bring. Now, I didn't know she was going to bring this up, but this is something when you feel rejected, she said, "Oh no, I'm never going to feel rejected again." And but
Mhm.
she doesn't really tell people. She just says in her mind, "Well, I'm not going to tell you anything ever again."
Mhm. That's exactly it.
See, because she says she doesn't tell them off. What she do is say, "Well, I'm not going to tell you nothing ever."
Mhm.
And
I'm going to keep all the information to myself until I know every detail so that you can't try to point out that I didn't share something or that I didn't know something. That's really where in my mind, how I process that. But
oh,
you hit it right on the head. That's
oh,
exactly what I do.
and you lose power. You
Hmm.
lose power because what happens is that now I call that withholding.
Hmm.
So so when you withhold information and you're not being so right now you know that you're smart. I
Hmm.
mean, you know that you have the information. You know that it's right. You know that it's even right to share. You know that you can even minimize their steps in doing it by telling them.
Hmm.
This is the key part. All right, get this, everybody. This is gonna free you because it freed me. If they didn't ask you, just be an inquiry if they want to know about it. Don't I had to learn that. I always offer it. And if they say no, I'd be with the no.
Hmm.
So I won't get disappointed if I said, "Can I offer you something I found out the other day?" And they have a right to decline or accept. And that will save you a lot of how you begin the interaction because now you're asking people's permission. Because in the background, Angelique, they kind of know that you have a lot of information. If you're saying that you're at work too, you have a lot of information to share.
Hmm. Yeah.
And people may see you as maybe sometimes they see you as a know it all, or maybe they see you as somebody that has a lot of information. I don't know what the perception is. This is why I'm offering you the first step is just be an inquiry. Are they even wanting this information?
Hmm.
So the first thing you just ask them, say, "May I share something with you along the lines of what you're doing?" And if they say no, be with their no. And if they say yes, share it and leave it.
Hmm.
Even and be with their questions
Hmm.
because you offered them the opportunity for you to share.
Yeah.
Maybe they may just have questions.
Hmm.
Maybe, and I was telling my husband because my husband is super smart. Like I said, you have random information that nobody else has. So you think people have this information, but we don't.
Hmm.
But he is so intelligent, right?
Hmm.
So when I'm looking at this, I'm saying to you, how can you now do this? You can do it by one way. Just be with the person in inquiry. Can I
Hmm.
offer you something? Did that help you at all?
It did. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Now listen, that is not going to solve the problem of you feeling rejected, right?
Hmm.
So when you feel rejected, you got to be okay with it not being okay.
Hmm.
You got to be okay with the feeling because you're going to be she's going to be coming in unstuck. And being in unstuck means that you're going to recognize how you can heal that kindergarten because
Hmm.
there's certain things that happen to us in our life. And this is why I started Speak Your Power Now. I had a stepfather that was emotionally abusive. I was the dumb mother effer every day. That was my name.
Mm.
I thought I was Angelique. I thought it was stupid. I was taken up to my licensure. I was stupid.
Wow.
And this is why I created this space. I created this space for people to understand that when people attempt to disempower you, that is your story. So you can begin to stand in your own uniqueness.
Wow.
Your own
That's good.
uniqueness. Tell me what you heard. I know I don't. Tell me what you got from that just now.
Um, I will say that I thought it was super powerful to hear that if you like the correlation between where we feel intimidated or not as strong or as powerful is actually where our power is. And that's where our uniqueness is. And I just think, my brain immediately went to, oh, yeah, that book you're supposed to be writing. That's where you begin.
Yes,
Start there.
yes, exactly. And that is how you set your power and stand apart and stand in your power. Thank you so much for being the first one to come up, Angelique. Share
Thank
and make
you.
sure you come on again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to be here every Monday. So if anybody, that was the one hot seat. Thank you, Angelique.
All right. Have a good evening.
You're welcome. All right, that was Angelique. She was the first one to come on up here. I'm so glad you all thought that was very, 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 very helpful. And I can take one more if you would like to come on up. I'm going to put it in the chat. I am live. Those of you that are on Instagram, I am live on 3 platforms right now. I'm live on Instagram. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live in Facebook. I am live and I'm going to be coming live. So you want to share? This is my first. Well, tell me how you like it because this is my first time I'm coming live. This is my first time I'm sharing. I'm going to be coming live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I have this thing called the hot seat. And then, just like Angelique came up to share her life, I am wanting you to get healed with your communication. And there's certain things that I have learned to do along my pathway. Listen, I always say I'm just a girl from the Bronx that learned the little tools along the way. I became a psychotherapist along the way, and then I became a communication coach along the way. And then I said, let me share some of my tools along the way. So, the one takeaway I want you to rock with tonight is if you are stuck in the ARR, which is the automatic reactive response, you need to check your triggers. And when you check your triggers, you can begin to see, hey, maybe I'm feeling rejected. Maybe I'm feeling fear. Maybe I'm feeling misunderstood. I'm not too sure how I feel. I'm not too sure. Meet me here every Monday. If you have a situation that comes up during the week, I'm willing to coach you. I'm coming here live every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also meet me. And also, I want to give you a free link to sign up to have the book I have going on. So let me put that into the chat. The Speak Your Power Now has a book. I hope I didn't go anywhere. Okay, yes, I got the link. So let me put it inside of the chat. And you can go right here. And I know that I can display that too. So right there, yep, I did it. My team is going to be so proud of me. So there you go. So you go ahead and go get that link. It's free of charge. Go sign up for the Pis Method, Unstuck. Share the link. Share this platform. Let's get the subscribers up. Listen, if I'm helping you, then share it with someone else so I can help someone else. Share, share, share. Share, share, share. This is Speak Your Power Now. I am Coach Cheryl Clark. I help you with your communication. This is where you can begin to get healed. This is where you can begin to get your mind stress free from anything that you think that's stopping you, just like Angelique did. Peace and blessings. Join me next week at the same time, right here on Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Peace and God bless, and go get your free. It's free. Just download it. It's the free ebook. And then share the link. Peace and blessings.